Welcome back to Rules of Engagement. One quick thing before we jump to the next segment. I want to remind you guys, if you're just tuning in now, you missed the last segment, or perhaps you just tuned in, you missed Crank's amazing Heart of the Swarm games earlier this day, or you missed the Seed vs Supernova show match, or you missed last episode of Rules of Engagement. I can list 1,000 different Starcraft contents we have here at MLG. If you missed any one of them and you want to check it out, go to youtube.com/officialmlgsc2. We've got playlists there, different types of shows. We've got latest updated content. We've got old content from like a year ago, I think we're starting to put up now. So if you want to get like some nostalgic from the earlier MLG's matches, whatever it is, we've got it on the channel. Go check it out. Let's jump into this match. It's going to be about how the robotics can strike back. Last I just showed you about how Phoenix play can be so powerful. But now we're going to talk about a few things. And the first one's going to be the power of the fast expansion, the robotics fast expand against Phoenix. How it can be a strong build too. The importance of reacting to the scouting, especially the scouting you get with your Phoenix. And then of course, knowing your strengths and weaknesses at any given point of play and trying to play to maximize those strengths. Let's jump into this game now. We're going to see, it's going to look pretty similar. This is a practice game I played versus my teammate, IS Tubby, Infinity 7 Tubby. And I'm doing, this another Phoenix build. Same old, same old. And of course, you'll notice the first Phoenix I'm going, I'm not going to go through the middle if I can easily avoid it, just because I'd rather him not know I'm going to Phoenix for as long as possible. But I do want to scout with that first Phoenix so I can tell what's going on. Do I need to worry about Dark Templar, fast expand, blink all in, what have you. Boom, I can see, okay, it's a fast expand. Now, what are some strengths that fast expand has versus Phoenix? We saw last game, it had more economy, but, the Phoenix were able to kind of counteract that in the long run by constant harassing, great scouting information, etc. So a couple of the strengths we have of this Phoenix play is going to be, of the Robo Fast Expand, is that because he's getting to robotics so fast, in fact, let's switch over to his view right here, he gets the Observer, and a fast scout allows him to know if he should be attacking or defending. He can say, oh, is he following up the Phoenix with a 4-gate? Should I be defensive? Or is he trying to be greedy and expand crazily? Should I be aggressive? And then the fact that he has that stronger early economy, we can look here, the worker count's roughly even, but he has more income. And that's strictly because he has the extra base, so he can split his workers up more efficiently. So the stronger economy allows for more warp gates and a stronger army. So those are the two advantages he has. He can scout to know if he should attack or defend, and he's going to have a stronger army, so in theory he should be successful whichever one he chooses. So now I've scouted him, right? If we look at this, I've scouted the fact that he's moving out with a bunch of guys, right? And now I'm going to run through his base, and I'm going to scout the fact that, oh, wait a minute, he's got a bunch of warp gates. Well, actually, I don't even see the extra ones. There we go. There, he has 4, but I don't even know if I see that. So maybe this is why I lose this game. We'll say that's why. But basically, I can tell that his army's not in his base. He's got a bunch of warp gates. Now I see there's 4. So I know he's got to be attacking me. So let me jump back just a tiny bit. Maybe I figured it out a tiny bit too late. That could have been the problem. But anyways, the idea is I know he's coming to attack me. And Phoenixes are such a powerful scouting tool, but it only helps if you react properly to your scout. So if I know he's attacking me, I need to set up a very, very strong defense. And as you can see here, I don't have a huge army. My Phoenixes are across the map, so to defend, I only have this army. And what's the stronger point to defend? Is it going to be this section? Should I try to hold this section over here? Right? Or should I try to hold this section over here? Well, there's a cost and advantage to either one, right? This section back here is clearly easier to defend. It's one force field. You can hold off a giant army with that. But this section is much harder to defend. But if you do defend it, all of a sudden you can have your expansion up and you'll be on equal footing on an economic standpoint. So I make the decision to try to defend this natural. And it's not an obvious decision, but I decided I'm going to try to defend it. But as you can see here, he's got a much larger army. And because I left my Phoenixes on the harassment pattern, I can't defend well, and some great force fields by him, isolating some zealots. The Observer gives him the high ground vision. And as you can see here, as soon as he's able to get up this ramp, you cannot permanently double force field unless you have a lot more sentries than I do. So I'm able to temporarily delay this force fields, but pretty soon he's able to get up, and then I'm basically dead, right? So that didn't work out very well. And the reason why is because I didn't know my strengths very well. If you can look here, I'm ahead in economy. Why am I ahead in economy by so much? Well, because look at these phoenixes. Throughout this whole time, I got 1 kill, 6 kills, 10 kills, 12 worker kills. So phoenixes allow me to sacrifice an expansion against an early attack because I can kill so many workers that'll equalize the economy. Even though he has 2 bases, I only have 1. I kill so many workers, the economy's equalized. So that's why it's important to know your strengths. So normally you're like, well, he's on 2 base, I can't afford to give up my expansion. But if you have a higher understanding of Phoenix play and the strengths of your position, I could have gone ahead and said, you know what? Instead of losing my army there, I should have pulled it all up into main and then just force field my ramp forever. And with, if we go back a little bit, we can see I had plenty of sentries, right? I had 3 sentries off the bat. Whoops, there they are. They're all coming back here. So I had 2 sentries here. I warped in another 2 or something. There's 3 sentries, and then there's going to be 4 sentries, 5 sentries. I could have had 5 sentries up on the top with tons of energy. I could have held this ramp forever. I could have canceled this Nexus right before it finished, and then I would have lost 100 minerals, and I would have lost the opportunity of being a mindfulness expansion. But I wouldn't be at 48 food. I would have been at, because I would have 5 zealots and 3 more sentries. I would have been at about 65 food. So I'd be ahead in food slightly. Of course, he has expansion, but that's mitigated by the fact that I'm killing so many of his probes here. And there's no effective way for him to defend this without blink or sending his entire army home. Then it can re-expand. So the reason I lost this game was because of basically 2 factors. One, he knew the strengths of the robotics fast expand very well. He knew he had more income, and he could use that to get a whole bunch of warp gate units and just go and kill me, right? So he played to his strengths very well. My strengths were, one, I had great scouting, and I had the ability to counterattack well with the phoenixes. So I should have maximized my strengths by saying, you know what, I'm not going to do a straight muscle fight trying to defend my expansion. I'll just give it up and then focus not on like a warp gate versus warp gate battle where I know you're going to win. I'm going to focus on counterattacking with phoenixes while I defend a small choke point very efficiently with some sentries back at home. So you've got to react to your scouting and know the strengths of your build and play to those strengths. And you can turn what looks like it maybe was a build order loss. A lot of people come in there saying, oh, it's build order loss. This build order is better. But you could turn it into a win by understanding your race and the strategy you chose just a little bit better. We'll take a quick break to be right back with our next segment of the show. Stay tuned.